Hey guys, it's Shashank. And if logic closed deals, then the smartest people would buy the fastest. But that isn't the case. Most closers out there think that logic is the main decision making factor or the criteria that your prospects use. But that is far from truth. Why? Because if that was the case, then almost 90% closers would be rainmakers in different industries. They would be just like closing deals left, right, and center. I'm sure if you have been into sales, you must have encountered numerous times when the deal was making sense logically, but still the prospect did not buy. Now, why is that the case? And despite knowing that, why do you keep falling into that circular trap of logic and you keep using the logic in order to get the deal? That is what we are going to discuss, and I'm going to show you exactly what is the main decision making criteria that human beings, that prospects use on sales calls, and how you can understand this on a granular level so you can close more deals ultimately. Now let's talk about what happens. At the end of the call, people give you an objection. Whenever they give you an objection, you think that okay, it's a logical objection that they're giving you, and you start logically explaining things. Very simple example, I was reviewing a call of one of our closers that we have placed on our B2B clients account. So in the end, the prospect was like, oh, can you tell me more about this XYZ thing? So he basically took the temperature check. The prospect told, okay, I'm 8 out of 10. And what's holding me back is I did not understand this specific part of the process. And the closer started telling him about the process. So he went into a complete rant mode, and then he was like, okay, now good to go. And the prospect was still like, nah, I still need time to think about it. So ultimately what happened is this closer wasn't able to diagnose exactly what was the root cause of the objection. And that is something that happens with majority of you who are watching this video, right? What happens is prospects always lie. You need to remember that rule. Whatever the person is telling you, majority 99% of the times it's a lie after price drop. So as a closer, you need to make sure that you are handling the right objections. You're not just staying at surface level and handling the wrong objections. That is why people lose deals at objection handling. Now what happens is you think that more information will help you to generate more trust in the prospect's mind. You think that if you explain it in a better manner, if you explain the things in a better manner, you will get a yes in the end. If you think that if you make stronger arguments, logical arguments, that will lead to a decision. But what ends up happening is when you logically try to push people and persuade people, they start feeling pressured. They start feeling cornered, and they start feeling that you are a salesy person and you're trying too hard to basically get the sale. And that is why whenever you have tried to logically convince people that, oh, even if you invest 2 lakhs with me, you'll be getting what? And we help you to make 24 lakhs in a year. Don't you think the ROI would be worth it in business ROI offers? But still prospect are like, nah, it is Shashank, but I'll still think about it. I don't make rash decisions, right? So this is what you need to now understand. Now the question is, Shashank, got it. So logic isn't something that is the main factor, the main decision-making criteria. Then what is? What's the exact sequence? So there is no one thing. You need to understand the entire sequence, which is what I'm going to teach you now, right? And the entire sequence is as follows. Number one, the root cause of all the decisions that you make or any other human being makes or any prospect makes is their identity. That's the first level. What is the identity? Identity is basically something that comprises of your worldview and your self-view. What's the worldview? Basically beliefs, thoughts, and ideologies about the world. All the beliefs that you hold in your mind about the world, right? And your self-view is how you perceive yourself. What is your self-image? Do you see yourself as a confident person? Do you see yourself as an extrovert, introvert, blah, 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 etc., etc. You got the point, right? And similarly, that is what identity is basically made up of. Now, if your identity has certain beliefs that are against, your decision that you're trying to take, you won't be able to do that. Simple example, you must have seen a lot of lottery winners. They end up poor again after 1 year even despite winning lotteries. Why? Because very simple, their identity is not up to the mark. They are still operating from an identity of a poor person. So even if they get that quick cash, they are not able to sustain it or use it or practically multiply it or change their life with it. After 1 year, they are again back to the root cause. So that is what you need to understand. That is exactly what you need to understand, that identity governs all decision making criteria. That's the level number 1. Now your identity, what it does is creates a certain emotion. Whatever your identity will allow, it will create an emotional reaction within you. So human beings do not make decisions logically. Human beings make decisions emotionally. That is what is the main crux of this, right? Your identity will allow you to feel certain emotions. Once you feel those emotions, then you will use your logic to justify those emotions, and that is how decisions are made overall in life. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you are selling a business coaching offer. You're selling any coaching offer, right? For example, now the prospect in front of you has a identity, has a belief that online courses, online coaching is a scam. All coaches online are scammers, right? Now that's a part of his identity. That is a part of his worldview. He believes that to be true. Now, if he believes that to be true, now what kind of emotion would that generate within him once you start pitching him? So you invest, the price drop that, oh, the price of our coaching program is 1 lakh rupees. We'll help you to do XYZ thing. Now in his mind, he's like, oh, all coaches are scammers. Now he's not consciously thinking this. This is happening on a subconscious level, right? So on the subconscious level, his mind is like, oh, I believe that all course creators, all coaches are scammers. Because of that, he now starts feeling uncertainty. He now starts feeling nervous. He now starts feeling that risky element, right? He now starts feeling that discomfort in his body. And once that emotion is produced, now he uses logic. Now he, just basically observes the emotion in his body, that there is some level of discomfort, and then he uses logic to justify those emotion. That, oh, because I am feeling this discomfort, that means this offer is risky. That means this offer won't work for me. So I want to see some testimonials. That is how people give you objections. That's the entire mechanism. So you need to understand the root cause is identity, then is emotion, and then is the logic. And the logics are basically used to kind of justify the emotions ultimately. So now that you know this, how can you actually use this in your sales call? Now what we do specifically, what I use is something known as identity based selling, right? That is a framework that I have created after years and years of taking calls, taking thousands and thousands of calls. This is the main crux of it that I've realized, and then I've created a kind of framework which I teach to all my clients as well. It's called identity based selling method, where we directly conduct the sales call in a manner where these things are being taken care of just by following the framework that I have, right? You don't have to logically kind of push people. You're actually able to diagnose what is the emotion that is happening in his mind right now. Why is he giving this objection? And then you handle that emotion. And because you handle the emotion, the part of his identity gets transformed as well on the call. And that is how you get sales. So of course, that is not something that I can cover in this one video. But overall, what you need to understand is stop selling and you need to start guiding decisions of your prospect. That's a very important distinction. If your prospect is saying, oh, I'll speak to my family member, then your action shouldn't be, oh, what do you want to speak about? Don't you take your own decisions? You can never go into arguments. If you go into arguments, sales resistance is gonna go through the roof. So if you want to stop selling and if you actually want to become a decision guide and actually able to understand what are the, identity, what is the emotions that is triggering resistance in your prospects, subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to post 2 videos every week where I share insights just like this on high ticket closing. And if you're somebody who's interested to learn directly from me, in the description you'll find the link to book a call directly with me and let's have a conversation. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.